Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brian Daniels, here with Dragon Blogger, and I know this video is kind of late, late night video, but I wanted to talk about, I don't see anybody posting, I have not seen any videos yet on YouTube discussing what has been going on with Days of the Dead in Indy this past weekend. It's 1:30 in the morning, so it's still, whatever. It's this weekend, whatever we call it. Anyway, yes, I am the one that is going to be doing a full article about what has been going on with the whole ordeal, and I feel a sort of responsibility on my part to discuss this because I am a convention reviewer. I have been doing this now for about 8, maybe 9 years. It's been a long time. I lost count. I don't count anyway. But I've been doing this for a long time. I've been an active member in different conventions, communities for many, many years, like Gen Con, PopCon Indy, Indiana Comic Convention, etc. Days of the Dead was the very first horror con I had ever been to in my entire life, never experienced one, and I thought I would be cheating myself if I didn't go to a horror convention to talk about that specific type of con. And after having been to the world's or the nation's largest tabletop and RPG con in Gen Con, and then having been to like Wizard World and places like that, I want to make sure that I am experiencing a multitude of different places that are within the convention scene. So I have a very big love for horror movies. I've loved them since I was a kid, and I thought, why the hell wouldn't I go to a horror-themed convention? So I reached out, and I spoke with Adolfo, who was the previous owner, showrunner, what have you, of Days of the Dead. And he said, yeah, you guys come on out, enjoy our show. This was back in 2018, and I did a review. I did give the convention a lot of praise, overwhelmingly positive. I enjoyed the experience. I did go last year. Wasn't too fond of the convention last year. Was all right. And I had planned on attending this year. And as you know, there is a very real pandemic going on, a very real virus going on in our country and around the world. And it is the sole responsibility of businesses and events and etc. to take the necessary precautionary steps with this very real virus. And as you know, I'm a Hoosier and from Indianapolis. I don't live in Indianapolis anymore, but I'm from there. And Indianapolis has become over the past 10 years, especially with the start of Gen Con back in 2003, a very big and prominent convention scene. It didn't used to be. For those of you who are from Indy, you know it did not used to be a big convention scene. But now it is. And we've hosted India has hosted, several different cons, from Awesome Con to Wizard World, and etc. So, I know Days of the Dead has been around for a long, long time. I know Horror Hound's been around for a long time. And those those tend to be the two more prominent horror conventions in the United States, and especially in Indy. I did go to both in 2018, and I did also go to one in Lexington, Kentucky called the Scarefest, which I also really enjoyed. I loved all three of them. I want to make something very clear. When I do these reviews, I don't affiliate myself with any convention. I don't affiliate myself with any guest or celebrity or vendor for that matter. I strictly do my job for me. Here lately, I've been challenged by a few people, particularly Bill Philbott, he's the current showrunner and owner of Days of the Dead, and he has come at me basically on the defense, an all-out defense against what I'm trying to do. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, Bill, but I'm going to write this article. I'm going to shed some light on Days of the Dead in its current form. I want to make that very clear. Because from what I've been hearing, it's not always been this way until recently. There's been some sexism. There's been some racism, homophobia, and etc. and I'm still looking into a few other things. But I want to thank those of you that have come forward and are trusting me with some information in regards to the staff and the way they have been treating several vendors and attendees and etc. Thank you for coming forward and letting me know. And I want to make it very clear. I have evidence of things. I have proof of things. And I have testimonies from people who are vendors and etc. who have worked at Days of the Dead, who have attended Days of the Dead. I also have evidence from staff, and some of the staff things that staff have said. I am not going to get into all of that here because I want to save that for the article, which should be out by the end of the week. Actually, it's going to be out by the end of the week. I want this has to come out to light. And I firmly believe that the reason why people like Bill and many others from Days of the Dead are on the defense is because someone's finally speaking up. People are taking a stand. And honestly, that's what people should do. See, the problem with things, with society, is people are afraid of speaking out, and I'm not. I have never been afraid to speak out or speak up against anything. And quite frankly, I don't care who you are. If you're doing wrong, I will take a stand, and I always will take a stand against anyone who is a bigot, a racist, someone who's against the LGBTQ plus community, which I totally support, and am an ally, and always have been and always will be, and anything else that is discriminatory or prejudice or etc. I will always take a stand in that regard. And here I am once again faced with the task of taking a stand. And I will gladly use my journalistic efforts and the job that I'm prepared to do to face against any adversaries that stand in my way. So please, be prepared, because it's coming. I'm not, as far as what has happened this weekend, I will never be attending a Days of the Dead convention again in its current shape. And probably not even with its current staff. Change is coming, and change will happen. And these people are going to be brought to light. And quite honestly, who would I be if I didn't do that? I have been a convention reviewer. It's a community that I've always loved, passionate about. I love going to cons and interacting with all of you. I love going and sharing my experiences and reviewing things and talking about the right and the wrong on conventions. And as I said before, I gave Days of the Dead in 2018 an overwhelmingly positive review. And I loved it. But quite clearly, it just doesn't have that same spark anymore. And for those of you who were disturbed by the image that was shown Saturday, I'm sorry that you had to see that, but it's not up to me to apologize. I feel that the apology that was presented by Chris was not a very good apology. Matter of fact, it didn't seem very sincere at all. It just kind of seemed like it was a very nonchalant apology and more like a yeah, right, whatever type deal. That's about how it felt to me. And while an actual apology needs to happen, and you could say things like, well, Brian, this is a horror community. I mean, we deal with so many things in horror, right? Like serial killers and all that. And you know what? You're right. But to downright glorify the suicide of a very real person, and not a fictional character like Jason, Leatherface, Pinhead, the Leprechaun, the list goes on and on, is completely different from what we are used to in the horror community. And quite honestly, if it was any one of those faces on that teddy bear, I probably wouldn't even care so much. I wouldn't laugh because I wasn't even quite fond of the shirt itself. But that's a whole nother story. So yes, there are people that need to hold themselves accountable instead of going around and trying to attack people like me who are trying to bring light and shine some light in the darkness that is Days of the Dead. So, having said all that, I want to thank all of you. Sorry, I gotta fix my chair. I want to thank all of you once again for coming forward and taking the time to speak with me. If there's anybody else out there who happens to know anything else that has gone on in this convention, and you need someone that you can trust to go to, I will maintain your anonymity like I am with those that have already come forward. I won't mention any names. There is no shame in that. Don't feel like you can't hide who you are. But you can, but you shouldn't hold on to anything you've gone through with this convention, or any other convention for that matter. Some people can say, oh, well, this is cancel culture. Yeah, we should cancel sexism. You're right. We should cancel racism and bigotry and all of those hateful and mean-spirited things. Those are the things we should cancel. Am I saying we can't forgive someone? No. But with the shape that this convention is currently in, and looking like those that run it don't really seem to care, based off of the evidence that I've seen, and I will show in my article, it makes me really sad. Because I know what this convention was in its previous state, and it sucks that I really did not get to experience before 2018. But here we are, right? Dragon Blogger has always been about technology and entertainment. And to me, I am an entertainment journalist. I cover many different things. I cover video games, conventions. I stream on Twitch from time to time. And I'm passionate about the world of entertainment in many forms. I've reviewed Comedy Club. I've talked about so many different things. I've done articles on arcade bars before and things like that. I am fully invested in the entertainment industry. And conventions are just one of those many ways for me to extend that. Thank you so much for watching this video today. It's greatly appreciated. And please, if you want to come forward and you have something to say, please just get a hold of me. And other than that, look forward to you guys checking my article out later this week. Take care. See you guys.